What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about New York versus North Carolina and how they differ. Let's get into the video. My name is Ramon Lomeli. I'm a local realtor and the team leader of the Smart Move Group brokered by eXp Realty here in Winston-Salem, as well as all the surrounding areas. And the reason that I wanted to make this video for you guys today is because over my career, I've helped a lot of people moving down from New York. And honestly, I've helped people in all stages of life, from the young couples all the way up to the retirees. And based on that, I've gathered that there seems to be a big demand of people trying to leave New York, and sometimes they're ending up in North Carolina. And that's what we're gonna be jumping into in today's video. Before we do though, I just wanna remind you, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, would like a free consultation, or anything at all I can do to help, feel free to reach out. The number on the screen is my direct cell phone number. You can call me or you can shoot me a text. It comes to no one else but me. I am gonna leave some helpful links for you guys in the about section of this video, as well as all of my social media handles in case you want to see what I post on TikTok and Instagram. So in 2022, more people moved out of New York than stayed in it. And according to a United Advance Line study in 2022, most people cited that the reason they were leaving New York was lifestyle changes, retirement, and the cost of living. And if you're contemplating a move to North Carolina, you're definitely not alone, because it seems that North Carolina is in the top 5 of states that people are relocating to. With its strong economy, affordable housing, and stunning natural views, it's easy to see why. North Carolina has a culture that is rich in history, tradition, and diversity. From the Blue Ridge Mountains to the Outer Banks, North Carolina really has something for just about everyone. The average home in the state of New York is about $411,000. Now that is up about 5.6% over this past year, but it does vary greatly where you live inside of New York. For example, the average price of a home in New York City as a whole is about $800,000, Manhattan being $1.3 million. Compare that to North Carolina, where our average home price is about $302,000. North Carolina is also home to many small rural communities. That is also a great option for cost-effective opportunities for housing. For example, Forsyth County, which happens to be where I'm at, happens to be the 4th most populous county in the state of North Carolina. And it has a really good mix of both urban and rural, but our average price here is only about $260,000. And maybe you're considering renting and you're currently renting in New York and you're wondering kind of how it compares. The average price for a 3-bedroom home in North Carolina is $1,911 a month, as compared to New York, where that same 3-bedroom is going to cost you about $3,300 on average per month. There's a big difference when it comes to property taxes as well. New York's average rate is 1.62%. North Carolina is significantly under that at 0.70%. And just so you know, the national average is 0.99%. And if you're wondering about the weather, let's talk about that next. In New York, particularly in the upstate area of New York, winters seem to be quite brutal and your summers are really hot and humid or muggy. While here in North Carolina, we really have the pleasure of experiencing all 4 seasons. Our winters may be chilly, but we didn't even get any snow this year. In fact, the temperature only dropped below freezing twice this year, or this winter, I should say. The springtime here in North Carolina is really awesome. It's about 62 degrees right now with a little bit of wind. You get plenty of sunshine and plenty of rain in the springtime. Our summers though do tend to be a little bit hot and muggy. It doesn't get over 100 usually. Typically we're in the high 80s to low 90s, maybe mid 90s. And the good thing is it usually doesn't stay too hot for too long, because after a few days of 80s, 90s temperatures, you're gonna get some rain here. It's gonna cool everything off for a couple days, and then you're back kind of to that heat. But by far my favorite season in North Carolina is gonna be the fall. Our autumns here in North Carolina are simply beautiful. You have temperatures that are not too cold throughout the day. Maybe a light sweater, maybe a long sleeve shirt will do just fine. In the nighttime, you get that chilly, crisp fall air coming through, and the colors are spectacular. Beautiful reds, yellows, browns, golden colors. It's really amazing the colors that the trees produce in the fall. And I know that kind of sounds cheesy. When I first heard about it, I was like, that the trees are dying basically. Why is that so beautiful? But you have to see it. It's really beautiful. In fact, me and my family love to go to the mountains right around that fall time. There's actually a calendar online that tells you like the perfect day to see the best fall colors, depending on where you're going in the mountains. We got a bunch of more things to talk about here, but first I want to remind you once again that if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything I can do to help, feel free to call me. Number on the screen is my cell phone number. And don't forget about all those links I left in the about section for you, especially that relocation guide. That's going to help you a lot. And like I said, if you want to be my friend on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, my social media handles are going to be down there, but I'm warning you, don't go on my TikTok. Now we're going to talk about retirement. Generally speaking, New York is an expensive place to live, especially as compared to, for example, North Carolina. And because of that simple reason, it's more expensive there for retirees. Retirement in North Carolina can be quite affordable depending on your wants and needs. In fact, well, this is kind of anecdotal, but it seems like I've been getting more and more retirees calling me over the years. I have a lot of people from New York coming down actually, and I got people from Florida coming up quite a bit, which that one kind of surprised me. According to AARP, the average cost of living for a retiree in North Carolina is about $39,000 a year, so not bad. And just so you know, that does include housing, utilities, groceries, and healthcare. And maybe you're not retired yet, and you still have to worry about jobs and careers, so let's talk about that. So obviously the jobs are very, very different from New York to North Carolina. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the most common job in New York is going to be a registered nurse, while the most common job in North Carolina is going to be a retail salesperson. And obviously New York has a higher concentration of jobs in legal services and finance, while in North Carolina we have more jobs in the hospitality, healthcare, and education sectors. North Carolina is projected to increase the number of jobs by over 300,000 in a 10-year span. That's going to be between 2018 and 2028, so we're basically in the middle of that right now. And one of the reasons they did that is because we're growing on average 0.6% every year. And just so you know, 89% of those jobs are going to be in the service providing industry. Now let's talk about traffic. And this one's kind of weird to talk about because New York as a whole, such a big state, also North Carolina, very big state. So it's really, it differs from area to area basically. And as you can expect, if you're coming from a bigger city in North Carolina, such as Raleigh or Charlotte, you're definitely going to have traffic, especially around your 9 a.m., 5 p.m. high rush hour traffic hours. And the only way I can compare that to personally or anecdotally is, me being from Southern California, where I was stuck on the 5 for hours and hours trying to go anywhere. Traveling 20 miles in Southern California at peak rush hour is probably going to take you an hour and a half to 2 hours. I can say though that specifically here in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, where I'm at, the traffic is almost non-existent. Now we do have traffic, don't get me wrong, especially at rush hour. You're never gonna stop completely though. That's the great thing. You're gonna slow down a bit. You're gonna, come to a slow down, but you're never gonna completely stop. Unless of course where you run into some construction, maybe an accident. Those scenarios you're definitely gonna have to stop, right? But for the most part, very, very rarely do I ever stop completely unless it's a stoplight or stop sign. And sometimes I don't even stop at those. We should also talk about colleges and or universities. Obviously, New York is known to have some of the most prestigious universities in the entire country. But in North Carolina, we have 86 different universities as well. North Carolina University, Duke University, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and of course, Wake Forest University, which happens to be in Winston-Salem, are all here in North Carolina. And those are gonna be some of the most notable universities, but we have many more to offer. Now let's talk about entertainment. And honestly, you guys in New York have New York City, which is, a huge mecca for entertainment. We don't have anything that compares to that. Maybe we can come close, kind of, sort of, but not really. And honestly, both states really have a lot to offer when it comes to outdoor activities. Hiking, biking, camping, fishing, hunting. But New York really pulls away when it comes to theater, music, and dance. Also, obviously, New York, you guys have some amazing museums. Not that we don't have any here. We have some awesome museums too, just not on the scale that New Yorkers have it at. We should also mention transportation. One thing that I do love about North Carolina when it comes to transportation is that traveling is kind of simple here because we have so many highways. So we have a lot of options on getting anywhere, any part of the state via several means. We also have rail systems, Amtrak. We have several large international airports, Charlotte Douglas probably being the biggest one. And most major cities have some kind of transit authority where they're going to have a lot of bus transportation. We don't have any subways here though. And hopefully with this information that I just gave to you, it'll make your decision about moving to North Carolina a little bit easier. And before you click out of this video, just do me a favor. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if this was helpful in any way. Don't forget about those links that I left in the about section for you. And above all, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. That helps this video go out to more people. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.